Let's simplify this expression. It's quite a complicated looking expression. Let's take the time to write it down in a simpler format. So what should I do first? Well, I think the first thing we should do is to make the denominators the same. To do that, we'll multiply the top and bottom of the first expression by x plus 2 and the top and bottom of the second expression by x minus 1. So this is going to come out to be x plus 2 times x plus 2 divided by x minus 1 times x plus 2 minus, we'll do the same thing with the other piece, but with an x minus 1, so this is going to be x plus 1, x minus 1, all divided by, what's it going to be, x minus 1, x plus 2. So now they've got the same denominator. That means I can bring them together in a very simple way. Remember, a difference is the same as a sum with a negative, so it's just going to be the following. It's going to be x plus 2, x plus 2, I'm not going to do any simplifications yet, minus x plus 1, x minus 1, all divided by x minus 1 times x plus 2. So now the top, this one I can multiply this out, I can FOIL it if you want. This is going to be x squared plus 2x, that's going to be plus 4x, all plus 4. The second one now actually is the difference of two squares, so this is going to be minus, so let's write it carefully, x squared minus 1 like that. I'm putting it in parentheses like this, so we don't get confused about the negative and the negative, all divided by. So very frequently when doing problems like this, it's nice to have the denominator factored, as you're going to see. I'll multiply this out just for some practice. So it would be x squared. What would it be? So x squared, then it would be plus 2x, then it would be minus, so it's minus 1 times x, so minus x. Then it would be minus 2. And let's simplify everything here. On the top, the minus x disappears. You're left with 4x. And then what is it? It's plus 4, but then minus 1, so it's plus 5. So you've got to be terribly careful. All divided through by, I suppose, x squared, is it plus x minus 2. So that's kind of a simplified format. Like I said, it's often a nice plan to have it written as this. And the reason for that is you can kind of see much more immediately problematic points here. Remember, this represents a number. So x represents a number, and this expression also represents a number. And for some values of x, it may not make sense. For example, if x is equal to 1 here, you'd be dividing through by 0, which doesn't make sense. Same with x is equal to minus 2. And you wouldn't really see that easily, at least, if you were using this notation. So it's frequently useful to keep bottom expanded, just because it kind of tells you a bit more about the expression, especially when it comes to thinking about these from a more sophisticated point of view later on in the course.